Modern Man Tutorials. Stop chasing 20-year-olds. Now, the thing is, unless you are planning to get married, make babies, there shouldn't be no reason that a guy should be chasing a 20-year-old, right? Or should be dealing with a 20-year-old, especially when he's like 30 and 40 and plus, right? 30 and plus. Because the only reason to deal with a woman that's turned 20s. Notice I'm saying 20, not like 18 or 19, because obviously that's sus, but that's for a different conversation. I'm just saying, like, the fact that most guys, get their life together around 30 or 40, and instead of finding a chick, at least in her 30s, right, they'll tend to want to go for the 20-year-olds. And the thing is, unless you're going to definitely marry, definitely make babies with the 20-year-old, you shouldn't be messing with the 20-year-old. Just logic. It's like the whole purpose of being with a 20-year-old is because that's her prime for making babies, right? And for you to be able to take care of babies and to be able to take care of her, right, in a marriage, you need money. And you're not going to really have that much money when you're in your 20s. So it makes sense that you're in your 30s and 40s, with a lot of money. Now it's like, all right, now you can do the wife and kids thing. So then look for a chick in her 20s, right? Ideally, a mature chick in her 20s, right? Who's, marriage minded, who's wants to have kids. Makes no sense to be with a chick who's pro-choice, right? You want a woman that's obviously pro-life, pro being life, spending a life with you and the kids, right? She wants that. So that if that's what you want, then that's the case. But if you're a guy in your 30s and up, right, specifically if you're in your 40s and you have no intention of wifing, reproducing with any of these ladies that you're dealing with, especially, like I said, if they're in their 20s, you shouldn't be. If all you're going to do is just live your best life, basically being your whole phase, because now you got money, now you got, you got attention, clout, whatever, you got status now. So now you're desirable. Well, there's plenty of 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds that desire you. You should be dating them. You should be messing with them. Especially if all you're going to do is just mess around. All you're going to do is essentially be in your whole face because you couldn't do it in your 20s. That's the thing. If you were in your 20s and you were being a, playboy, a player, right? Fuck boy. Well, once you're in your 30s and 40s, right, and up, well, shouldn't still be doing it. Unless, you choose that path, then you choose the consequences of your actions, right? Every decision has a cost, right? Every decision has its ups and downs, depending on, the path you choose. So if you choose the fuckboy path, well, that's on you. Just like if a chick chooses for the streets, right? Chooses the streets life, then that's her path. So, like I was saying, don't be messing with a chick that you have no intention of marrying, you have no intention of reproducing with. Because I just saw that Jennifer Tilly is 64. Like, I just randomly looked up her pictures, and her wiki says she's 64. It's like, damn, she still looks good, and she's 64. And I'm 41, so I'm like, yeah, I hit that. I find her attractive. So it's not like the whole idea of like, no, only chicks in their 20s are attractive. Anything higher than that, 30 plus, ain't attractive. Bullshit. There's plenty of old women that are attractive. They're still hot, right? So if all you want to do is, have a hot chick to mess around with, there's plenty of 30 plus year old chicks there you can mess around with. And most of them are not looking to marry. A lot of them are not looking to reproduce. So you're good. Right? So there's no reason to mess around with a 20-year-old. Again, unless your purpose is to reproduce and whatnot, there's no real reason to be with a 20-year-old. Because all you're going to do is turn that 20-year-old into the bitter 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds. There's going to be complaining about marriage and relationships and not wanting to have kids and all that stuff. That's all you're going to do is just create more of those. The same types of chicks y'all try to avoid, which makes no sense, because those are the ones you should be dealing with anyway. And if you can't handle dealing with somebody, a female who's 30 plus, that says more about you than it says about them. Because a real man can't handle anyone, regardless of age. Well, obviously 18 and older. But I'm just saying, can handle, because he's masculine enough that even if she was masculine, her masculinity would pale in comparison to his masculinity, right? So shouldn't be no such thing as a woman being too masculine for you, because you should be too masculine for her. That it by default, she can only default to her femininity, which is natural, right? Just like when a guy tries to be tough and tries to start a fight with you, but then he realized, oh wait, this guy's taller, bigger, stronger than me. Oh shit. You know, his car has a veteran's tag on it or something. Oh shit, he's ex-military. I'm fucked type of situation, right? You realize that you're out of your league, right? Just like if you saw somebody from behind and you threw something at them and they turn around, it's Mike Tyson. Yeah, you're gonna change your tone all of a sudden. Suddenly you're not gonna be so tough, right? And that's the thing. When someone's tougher, the one who's acting tough will start acting differently, because remember, they're acting tough, they actually weren't tough, right? So same thing when it comes to relationships. If you have no plans to wife up, provide, protect for a wife and kids, don't be messing with a chick in her 20s. Leave her alone. She belongs to somebody who will provide that life, who will provide, protect. If you guys want to be fuckboys because you finally got money, you finally got taller, finally got in shape, so now you finally have the ability to have options, the ability to interact with the female gender, mess with the ones in your age range. And there's many reasons why. Obviously, they already have the experience. They're already going to agree with a lot of the stuff you want to do, especially if you don't want to do much, if you don't want to travel. She don't want to travel. Good. You save money on traveling. Younger girls, younger ladies, I should say, right, in their 20s, they want to travel. They want to have fun. They don't want to sit around in the house. So if you're the type of guy that just wants to sit around the house all day, watching anime and stuff like that, now you got a lot of money, you need somebody at the same level as you. A 20-year-old is not at your level, right? They're at the start of their life, their adult life. You're already halfway through your adult life. Soon you'll be in your older years. You'll want to do less stuff then. So, just something I wanted to point out, because I see that a lot lately. A lot of guys that be promoting the idea that guys, ignore women, right? Focus on yourself, get your money up, go to the gym, this, that, there, improve yourself, be on your purpose. And then once you have a nice lifestyle, then date 20-year-olds. I was like, what? No. By the time the guy gets his shit together, he already be like in his 40s and 50s. At least mess around with the chicks in their 30s. Especially if you're not looking for anything serious, There's plenty of 30, 40-year-old women that are still hot, that they look younger than they really are, right? That you can mess with, right? It's just logical, because it's no different than like you're at work, and instead of hanging out with a fellow coworker that's been at your job for the same, for almost the same amount of years as you immediately want to hang out with the new employee. It's like, that seems a little odd. The person just started the job, and already you're trying to hang out with them, trying to be their best friend. But you've had coworkers you've known for years that you barely talk to. That makes no sense. Because I'm just seeing a problem where, especially in the red pill community, right, always pointing out the idea that like ladies need to make better decisions in their 20s, pick better guys, make the decision if you're going to be a wife or not at that time, and go from there, and make decisions based off of that. So don't let these fuckboys, they're in their 20s just trying to fuck around and have fun. They're not looking for nothing serious, right? Don't mess around with guys in the 30s and 40s who ain't looking for nothing serious either. And that's the problem. A lot of the red pill stuff you see out there is promoting the idea that, guys, if you can't be a fuckboy in your 20s, essentially be a fuckboy in your 30s and 40s. Get to a point where you have money, and then the money allows you to be a fuckboy now. It's like, what? No. You're just telling them how to be a prom. Like, originally we were telling ladies to stop messing with fuckboys, but now you're telling guys to be fuckboys. See how that's a contradiction? That's not helping. It's not fixing the issues of ladies being with the wrong guys. The fuckboys was the wrong guys. But then you're telling guys to be fuckboys. Tell them to get their money up and stuff like that, so that way they can have quote unquote options. And then you don't tell them to, just because you have options doesn't mean you have to go and, be a fuckboy, right? Go exercise them. Obviously have some control and restraints, right? Have some discipline. No, you don't tell them that. You tell them, hey, now you have options. Do what you want. Which is the same thing that ladies do when they're in their 20s. They have options, and they can do what they want. But it always ends up in a negative way. So how does that not apply to guys? You telling guys that, hey, get your money up, this, that, there, now. You have options. Do what you want. And then what's going to happen is they're just going to be fuckboys. Which is the male equivalent to a female who's a 304. Right? We're not solving a problem. We're just telling people, hey, well, if that's what they're doing, then you should do it too. Instead of, if you can't beat them, join them type of things. Like if you can't, stop ladies from making bad decisions and being 304s and being for the streets, well, then you guys need to get your shit together and y'all be for the streets. But the problem is now everybody's in the streets. Instead of doing better and being better human beings, you're encouraging everybody to be shitty. Make shitty decisions. Be the shitty decision. Like before, we told chicks stop messing with the bad boys, the fuck boys. But now we're telling guys to be fuck boys, which is stupid. We're creating more of the things we're telling the ladies to avoid, to stay away from. And then you always see them complaining that they want a good guy, where all the good men at. But you guys out here in the red pill community telling guys they need to get their shit together so that way they can have their whole phase, essentially. I don't blatantly say it. That's part of the disrespect, the part of the problem is that you're not telling them that. You're making it seem like what you're doing is giving them good advice for them to be real, right? Be a real man and be out here doing real man shit. But in reality, it's like, that's not real men shit. Real men are responsible. You're telling guys to be irresponsible. You're telling guys to do things for the sole purpose of them being able to do what y'all keep telling the ladies not to do. Keep telling the ladies not to have high body counts, not to be out here making bad decisions, doing whatever they want. That they should be more considerate of their actions, be more mindful, be more accountable, more responsible. But then tell guys, go get your money up, go to the gym, and then go be irresponsible. Go do whatever you want. Don't be in a position where, you get screwed over. Be in a position where you could screw somebody else over. That's essentially what you're seeing out there in a lot of these podcasts, a lot of these red pill shit, like Fresh and Fit specifically. That's the whole thing. I remember when they used to talk about being a alpha male was a bad thing, right? That the beta males get treated bad, the alpha males get treated good, but the alpha males were the bad guys. They're the shitty dudes. They're the fuckboys, right? They're the ones that the females should avoid, should stop dealing with, and should start looking towards the beta males, right? That's the term they like to use, the beta male. The beta males are the good guys. They're the guys that you ladies should go for, right? But after a while, you flipped it, and it's like, nah. Instead of, trying to convince the ladies to choose the betas over the alphas, all right, every guy become an alpha. Now, if everybody is an alpha, now every guy has a shot of being picked, right? But the thing is, you didn't teach them to be perceived as alpha so they could get picked by their ladies, right? Because ladies tend to pick the alphas, not the betas, right? More often than not, right? But then it turns out, oh, you're actually a good guy, right? You're a beta. You just gave off the perception, the appearance of an alpha, but you're really a beta in disguise, as it were, right? A beta in alpha clothing, or right type of concept. But no, instead it's like, no, we're going to teach you exactly what the alphas do, how the alphas behave, how the alphas, what makes an alpha, and then just copy that. Just become an alpha, and there you go. You'll get women. But instead of, and then that creates a negative outcome, because now you're creating more of the douchebags that you originally was telling ladies to avoid. And you know what I'm saying? It's like the alphas were the bad guys, the betas were the good guys. But now you're trying to convince every guy that they're alpha. A lot of times I see guys being assholes talking about their alpha. Sometimes they even try to say to somebody else, like they'll point at me and be like, dude, you're not alpha. You're not alpha. And it's like, duh, I'm not alpha. To the ladies, that's different. They would say I'm alpha. But yeah, I'm not alpha. Right? Because I'm a good guy. I'm not an asshole. I'm not inconsiderate. I'm considerate. I'm not selfish. I'm selfless. So yes, I am not alpha. As in, I'm not an asshole. If a chick chooses me, she made a good choice, not a bad choice. Right? But because of all this red pill bullshit out there, they're trying to promote the idea that alpha is the good guy. That alpha is what you want to be. And it's like, even when I see the TikTok trends, I'm going into my villain era. It's like, no, you're supposed to become a better good person, right? Better hero. You should be going to your hero era, not your villain era. The bullshit that everybody wants to go the wrong direction and think that's the right direction. So I just want to point out that you guys need to do better. Be better, right? Being beta is not a bad thing. It's being a simp that it is a bad thing, because that's just you being extremely good to somebody who doesn't treat you the same way. You're giving somebody love and attention, but they're not giving that back to you. Right? That's why it's called simping and not pimping. There's a difference. If I'm going to be classified anything, it's definitely a pimp, not no alpha but anyway, hopefully you guys understand that it's better to make better decisions than to make bad decisions, because you will regret it.